Hi, come on in. Have you ever felt that all your whips are getting out of control? Because I certainly have. I have so many blankets on the go. I really need to organize them. So I'm Caroline. This is the Hooked Hangout Crochet and Chat, where we talk about all things crochet, from hints and tips to tutorials I've got coming out, projects I'm working on, and some behind the scenes with my business as well. So grab your favorite drink, grab your crochet hook, and let's dive into all things crochet. So as I said, my blanket situation is getting a little bit out of control. I have a lot of blankets on the go. It's one of my favorite things. I think because there's so many lovely stitches, it really does show them off to the best with a nice big blanket. But it's becoming just a little bit of a problem, as you can see. Now, one of the ones that I have that I've been working on is this one, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I love the way it looks. I love the two colors. What I don't like about it is the carrying the wool up the side here. Now, I know I'm going to put a border around it, and that would cover it, but I'm just not impressed with that. So I think that I'll probably take that back, restart it, and then if it's in 2 rows, and then each time I'm swapping hits after 2 rows, so I'm swapping colours every 2 rows, basically. I'm thinking that what I'll probably do is cut them each time so that I can then finish them in separately. And I just think for myself, it would probably look better, and I just would prefer that. Now, obviously, it looks quite narrow, but obviously I am going to have a border go around it as well. But I do love that. I love the colours in it, and I love how it looks, and I do think it shows the stitch up beautifully. So that's one of them that I will work on, but that's not one for the minute. So when I'm looking at my blankets and so on, I really need to get some of the hooks so that I've not got ones sitting around everywhere. So what I'm thinking of doing is I have this one here, which is nice chunky wool, which I want to get finished. I know it's not very far gone yet, but because it's nice and chunky, I'm thinking it'll make up quicker. And also this one, which again is chunky wool rather than, like I said, the double knitting or the worsted weight, and it should mean that they make up that little bit quicker. And that's why I'm thinking that I will do those ones first and try to get them off my hook so that I can get on with other things and just not have quite so many lying around. And I do have a little story to tell you about, which comes to my next project, which is about my little granddaughter going to shop with her mum, and she saw some wool there, and immediately when she saw it, she says, "It's Nanny's wool. It's wool for Nanny," and insisted on buying some for me. So I have just started trying to make this little bunny rabbit for her. When she was looking at patterns that she liked, bunny rabbit was the one that she came out with and one that she wanted. So I started, will be the head. I'm not just really good at amigurumi. It's something I've not done a lot of. However, at Christmas I did do a little gingerbread man and a snowman, and I'm hoping that they did turn out quite well, and I'm pleased with those. But I'm hoping that maybe this year I could try a few more, so it seemed like a good opportunity to try one for her. Now, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to turn out, so wish me the best of luck, and I'll keep you updated. So one of the things I've been thinking about doing has been some little crochet pouches. Now, one of the reasons for this is obviously at Christmas time, I did make some of these pouches and made the little ones that was meant for gift cards and so on, makes lovely little presents, and they still can be done the same way. Although they were made in Christmassy colours, you could make them in ordinary colours for somebody who was getting them through the year, just as a little bit of something, makes it that little bit more special. I also made a bigger gift pouch where I could put some little presents in it, like makeup and so on, so that way it was something that they could open and it just looked nicer for them to be able to have that bag that was being handmade. So for the pouch idea, I've been thinking about using it as dice bags, making them slightly different as dice bags. Now, partly this idea came because my husband is into wargaming. I'm more on the fantasy side, and both my son and his partner are also into D&D. So we all use dice and use lots of them. And so I thought it'd be really, really useful. Now, this is just some of my selection of dice. I do have more, and I do find it really difficult to resist dice. They come in such lovely colours, so many different varieties, and different sizes as well. And I know that most people who do play this sorts of games, I think, have the same sorts of problems. So dice bags seem like quite a nice idea to have for that as well, for using pouches for, and good as little gifts for people too. I also thought that with Easter coming up, it would maybe be a really nice idea to use a little pouch gift bag idea as a treat bag. But also you find that children, when they're going out and they're trying to get their eggs and do whatever else, everything starts falling back out of it. So I thought it might be a lovely idea to have a pouch with a drawstring on it that could be put over their arm and might just be a little bit easier for them to control. But I just need to design that and have a look at that and see how that's going to go. But I think it'd be a lovely idea for Easter. That's enough about my projects. It'd be lovely to hear what you've been making and what's on your hook at the minute. Please stick it in the comments down below so that I can hear from you. I'd love to hear what you're making. Along with all of this comes a growing amount of yarn that you have left over, and it's finding out things that you can use that for. And I don't know if you're the same as me, but there's always lots left over. I tend to buy too much just in case, because I don't want to have too little from a project, and then you've obviously got more left over yarn that you need to use. One of my favourite things that I do like to do is to make it into a yarn ball. Now obviously you do need to put similar size wools together, so your DKs together, your worsteds together, your chunkies together. But what it does do is it gives you a continuous ball, so when you're trying to make something out of them, it does help. And I do join them as I go, so it's a case of using either the magic knot or there's the Russian choin that you can use, and different ways of joining those wool, whichever is your favourite. And then I can just continue to make that ball of wool. It's a good way of trying to keep it neat as well, because rather than having them all in a bag and then them all getting tangled, if they're in a ball of wool, it just keeps them sorted better. And then, as I say, it means that you can take them and you can start to make something out of them, and it's just a continuous ball of wool then, as opposed to lots of little bits that you then have to join together. It does work really well. And then obviously I can take them out, I can use them for different projects, so blankets, baskets, even nice original scarves. And every item that you make from that is going to be an original, because the wool is always going to be different. If you are looking for some more inspiration as to how to use your yarn up, I do have a video that I made on lots of different ideas. It's 10 ways to use scrap yarn, and I'll link it up here for you. So be sure to check that out for more ideas. How do you use your scrap yarn? Let me know in the comments. But let's have a look at what I've got coming up business-wise and on my channel. So I've got some really exciting ideas coming up for the business. I have some new kits I've got coming out. So these are all crochet kits and will help people to start to crochet as well, because they're all simpler things. So I've got my little simple baby hats, some of the coasters that I've done. So those are the ones I'm going to work with to begin with, and then I'll go on to other ones. So I'm going to bring those out first, but still quite a bit of work to go before I can get them out. But as you can see, my dining table gets used for everything, and it does become my work table. It's such a good size. It means I can spread everything out and I can work on it that little bit better. And obviously with the kits, it's going to take a little bit of time. I want them to look right. I want them to work properly. So I've got the first couple that I'm going to be making up and getting ready, and then I'm going to get a couple of people to test them just to see how they get on with them. The idea is that obviously the stuff that's within the kit, it will link to a tutorial on the channel here, so that way it's easier for somebody to be able to produce those things with not just a pattern but with a tutorial. So pattern will be there too, but all the wool, everything you need to be able to make this particular item, and the extra tutorial will be on the channel here, so they can follow along when they're doing it. It'd be nice to know if it'd be something that anybody would be interested in. So again, stick it in the comments if you feel it's something that you think would be a good idea. Now, obviously, I'm not sure exactly how long it'll take me to get these particular crochet kits out. I do want them to be tested first, just to make sure that everything is there that should be, and that they're working all properly, links to the channel, everything else, and everything is there that's needed for the people. So I will keep you updated as to how those are going. So I have lots of tutorials to come out on this channel itself. I sometimes think I really have to rein myself in, because I've got so many ideas whirling around my head that choosing something that I want to put out, I have to really focus myself and decide, no, that's what I'm going to do. I do have a select few that I'm concentrating on and trying to make sure I have ready to come out. So obviously I started my stitch library, and I'm going to keep that one going. So there'll be different stitches coming out every couple of weeks or so. It might be more as that, it just depends, where I obviously do a swatch so you can see what they look like, but then show you how you can crochet them up. What I'm really hoping though is that I don't decide, oh, I'd really like that one, I can make myself another blanket. Not before I get some of these ones off my hooks anyway. I've also got shamrock, four-leaf clover, depends on what you want to call it yourself, out in time for St. Patrick's Day, which will be a coaster design. Another coaster one, because I do love a coaster, and I do think they come out lovely and make really nice presents for people. So yes, I've got that coming out. That tutorial will be added to the channel next week, the end of next week. So keep a watch for that one. I've also got some other projects coming out, which will be ready for Mother's Day, so that you can make some items for that. So if it's things that you think you'll enjoy, please do subscribe to the channel so you don't miss them. So that's it for today's crochet chat. So if you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit the like button, please subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. And please also don't forget, I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. What are you working on? Have you tried amigurumi? Do you have any tips for me to help me with that? And all that's left for me to say is thank you for joining me and keeping me company, and I hope to see you in the next one.